Xiomy here. So today I'm gonna do a tag. Now I really wasn't tagged by anybody to do this, but I really wanted to do it because I thought it was a very interesting discussion, and it's things I learned in young adult. Now it was created by Michael Bookline, and I thought it was something that was very interesting, and decided to get on the bandwagon because I really wanted to do it. And I decided to choose 5 things that I learned from young adults. For my number 5, it isn't really like mind-blowing, but I'm gonna say that love triangles only happen in books, and this is something that I've seen a lot, and sometimes I do see that authors do try to play at it in a nice way to try and give you a love triangles for it to be interesting and something different, and I do appreciate that. But sometimes you have so many love triangles it's just on the brink of boredom, and you're like, how many love triangles can there actually be? Now I for one think that this is something that's preposterous that can really happen in real life, but if it happened to you, then perfect, I applaud you. But I think that's something that's a little bit overrated already, and I think that it's something that's really hard to believe in that actually happens. But nonetheless, it's something that I did learn from young adults. I had 2 for my number 4, but I decided to go with 1 just because of the book that I finished reading, and it's that women fall for guys who treat them like shit. I mean, I just read recently a book, and I'm like, oh my god, I mean, he treated her like really bad. And sometimes I see this a lot in certain books, that guys do treat women like shit or treat them really badly and diss them, or just, you know, mistreat them, and they fall for those guys. And I do know these are situations that happen in real life, but come on, man. I mean, I think that you can do a little bit better than that, and sometimes it's tiring that you're gonna drool over a guy that's just treating you bad. And sometimes I think that it's just wrong on so many levels, just because I don't actually like that, honestly. I mean, I do know like a brooding type guy, okay, yeah, but like a guy who's gonna treat you bad, who's gonna treat you bad with words, you know, like insult you and like physically, you know, mistreat you, that's just wrong. It's just completely wrong, and I really don't like it, and I don't agree with it. For my number 3, I decided to go with sometimes that these characters face certain obstacles or certain problems, certain situations, dire situations in their life, and they just face it head on first. They don't try to deviate from it or try to look for another way out of it, because if you actually do that, in the end, in the long run, you're gonna know that it's gonna get even worser, or you're gonna have even more difficulty getting out of it. And I think that's something that's very appreciative, for them to face it like head on first, and instead of just forgetting about it and for it to become worse in the end. And I think that's something that's very empowering, something very strong to look at, that, you know, even in the most dire circumstances, they'll face their problems, they'll face their obstacles, they'll face their circumstances, and instead of looking for another way out, they're just gonna face it head on. And I think that creates a stronger character and a stronger person. So I think that's something very positive to have in young adult, and something that I really appreciate. For my number 2, it says that you have the power to change the world, but only if you're willing to make a difference and stand up for what you believe in. And I think this is something that's surrounding a lot of young adult books. Sometimes these characters do have the power and the will to change things in their daily lives, and they stand up for what they believe in. And I think that's something that's really strong, because if you stand up for what you believe in, and you fight, are willing to fight for what you believe in, and eventually even become a martyr sometimes, I don't care, you know, you might become a martyr or whatnot, but you're willing to stand up for what you believe in. And I think that's something that's very positive, and I think that's something that a lot of students or a lot of kids nowadays really do actually need, because you do have to stand up for what you believe in. Even though if you're just one person, you know, one person can make a difference, you know, one at a time will make this world a better place. So I think that's something that's very strong and very powerful that I've seen a lot in young adult literature. Now for my number 1, and this is something that I think that's always positive and something good to have, and I wrote that you can always count on your friends to save you in the most dire circumstances. Friendship is the most powerful weapon against your enemy. And I think this is something that's very positive and something that's very strong. I do think that friendship is a very strong bond that you're gonna have, and even in the most dire circumstances, you're gonna have your friend, especially if he or she is that, you know, best friend of yours. They are gonna save you, and they are gonna get you out of the worst circumstances that you can ever imagine. And this one I'm basing it off of Shadowhunters, obviously, just because, you know, that friendship, especially. I also read another book about friendship, and I just loved it. You know, they were willing to risk so much for their friendship, and for them to actually just continue being together. I thought it was something that was very beautiful. And in the end, friendship is the most powerful weapon that you can ever have, and I really do appreciate that, and I really did enjoy that aspect and that notion. Those are my 5 things that I learned in young adult. I really had fun thinking about them, just because I really thought it was something that was very interesting, and I really did enjoy it. I honestly want to thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.